House of War,
The
the
What
What
If
If
Show.
Show. What If Show hosted by Darius Davis, where real issues meet real people, where culture meets college paths, from community leaders to athletes, activists to everyday voices. If it matters to people, it matters here. So ask yourself, what if we actually listened? What if we listened? What if change started with a conversation?
Every street got a story, every block got a legend, every city got a what if, every rumor got a message. We take the myth, the whispers in the night, flip the script, shine a light, turn the shadows into sight. What if studio?
The What If Show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have my friend Byron Walker with the Dream Foundation. This is the What If Show. This is Darius Davis, the host. If you would like and subscribe to the What If Show. And first off, I want to allow Mr. Byron Walker to introduce himself. Mr. Walker, for people who don't know you, who is Byron Walker beyond the foundation?
Good evening actually. So yeah, Byron Walker Beyond the Foundation. Man, I'm just a regular old guy, man. Husband, uh, father, uh, Christian man. I'm a veteran. I've been in the Alabama National Guard 27 years, and hey, I'm just a regular Joe, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I'm gonna tell you a little bit piece about my experience from knowing Byron. I can remember being a real small kid, and I remember some of my cousins tell me, "Say, man, they playing basketball down the road." And I said, and I went and looked. I said, Byron. I said, man, I saw Byron, and I think his brother and a few other guys. I said, them guys too big for me to go out there and try to play against. And that's what we used to do. Coming from a small town, we play a lot of basketball.
That's
And
right.
that's where I remember him at. Just playing basketball on that dirt yard, man.
That's right.
Now we're looking at the Dream Foundation. I kind of want to know, what kind of life experiences have shaped your passion for helping people.
So I would have to say, working with my dad. I grew up. My dad, he had his own business. He did lawn and landscaping, and growing up watching him, he helped a lot of people in that line of work. So it just kind of rubbed off on me, um, just to want to give back and help people. I kind of get like a fulfillment out of it, you know, helping somebody that needs help. So it pretty much comes from how I was raised.
Awesome, awesome. Like you said, a lot of people look at those situations and say, "Hey, I would like to help out." And I know, man, you got to be a special person, man, to want to help people like you do.
That's right.
When we take a look at that, what was one moment that you realized I need to do something for my community? What moment was that?
Um, Man, it really was. It kind of started when my dad passed away. He passed away in 2014. It was kind of like I kind of wanted to do something to like keep his memory alive and be able to give back to my community. And I never really got the ball off of the ground. But in 2021, when my brother passed away, it kind of like reignited that feeling. And so, and when he passed away, I couldn't really sleep a lot. I'll be up, like night after night after night. And it kind of starting this foundation, that's kind of like where it came from. When I couldn't sleep at night, I get up and it just came to me like, you should start a nonprofit, and try to give back to other people. And so that's pretty much what I did. I When I couldn't sleep, man, I just get up and I just start putting everything together. And I didn't really know what I was doing, so I kind of like was learning it on the fly. But that was kind of like what sparked the Walker Dream Foundation.
Man, that's awesome, man. That you had that, perseverance and like I said, that calling on you. and
Yep.
it just kept you keep going. You start thinking
Yep.
about the memories of your father, the memories of your brother, and it kept you keep going, man. And that's awesome, man.
Yep.
So who kind of inspired you the most? Growing up to try to give back. I know you mentioned your father. Are there any other people who kind of inspired you to do that?
So, like I said, my dad, but I also was like an advocate fan of Dr. Martin Luther King. Like I always admired him and what he did. He was kind of like the work he did and the stuff he did and the effect that he had on people's lives. That was kind of like an inspiration for me as well.
Okay, okay. I know he did a lot with basically, sacrificing and doing a lot within the community. So when we
Yep.
hear Dr. Martin Luther King's name, we always think of, service, community service.
Hmm.
That's great. So what keeps you motivated, man, when things get tough when you're working with your foundation, man? Are there any things that keep you motivated?
Um, man, man, just Jesus Christ, man. Like well, and my daughter. Now, I would say that's like my drive. You know, because when you responsible for somebody else, it it always give you drive and motivation. Because you got to show them what right looks like. You got to be a good example for them. So I would say just basically my family as a whole that's like all the drive I need right there.
Oh man, that's amazing, man. That is amazing. And I want to ask you a little bit about kind of like the impact that it has in about your foundation. So when we hear that word Walker Dream Foundation, what does dream stand for?
So the dream stand for and it's spelled DREEM. A lot of people be like, dream, what is that? But
Yeah.
like my overall goal is to work with underprivileged children. And what we want to do is the D is for develop. Like we want to develop them into, you know, good people, hardworking citizens, make sure they have the drive to do whatever it is they want to accomplish. So developing them and then reassuring them, the r's reassuring them along the way, like, hey, believe in yourself. Like if it's something that you want to do and it's positive, hey, believe in that. And that kind of like that goes to the E, that kind of like empowers them, like, hey, I got other people believing in me. It's not just me believing in myself. And that leads to the second E, which is elevating them. It's taking them from that level of I'm not just thinking about it, but I got people that's helping me to actually put it into action and put it into motion. And then, I mean, the M is to motivate. Once you get it, like, hey, now all I got to do is stay motivated and continue to do what I already started.
Awesome, man. That's some great acronyms, man, for that word dream. So in this situation, a lot of people say, hey, for me to get involved in something, I was trying to actually help someone. So what problem were you trying to solve when you started this dream foundation? Were there any problems that you were trying to solve?
Yeah, I really was trying to you know, fill the gap in the underserved community. You go into a lot of communities, they have a lot of resources. Like they have um, resources at the tip of their hands. But with the Dream Foundation, we were basically trying to um, find a way to get those resources to the people that need them so that they could have, success in whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys are basically the tool to kind of bridge from the resources to the people that actually need them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Reaching out to the people that has the resources, that has the money. Like, hey, basically asking. Closed mouth
Gotcha.
don't get fed.
That's it.
And a
That's
and a
it.
lot of times all you got to do is ask.
That's it. A lot of times, a lot of people don't know that.
Yep.
And then, a lot of people don't know how to ask.
Yep.
So it's great that you guys are there to be able to know how to ask, and know how to get those resources and funds to the people that need it.
That's right.
That's great, man. So right now, are there any programs that you are most proud of right now, that you have been associated with or that you guys have sponsored?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would have to say the backpack drive because that's been our most consistent event. We actually partner with Created to Lead, which was founded by Javen Williams and Jada Williams, and we partner with them every year right before school starts. We give away free backpacks, free school supplies, free haircuts, free meals. Just last year we gave away 150 backpacks, 50 free haircuts, 10 free hairdos for the girls. We fed them. So we do that every year, but that's like the one that I'm most proud of. But we've also done other events. Um and we also feed families for Thanksgiving, Christmas. We always give away meals to families. We've had we've hosted a career day in Abbeville as well, and I enjoyed that. I'm proud of that one too. We had like 20 representatives from college. We had college representatives, trade such as welding, things of that nature, military personnel, bankers, education department, and we even had some of the regular jobs like Michelin came out, and we all set up booths, and the students came and they got a chance to go around to each booth to find out more about their profession and ask people, at that table, like more questions about what it was that they did. So that's something we want to get back to as well. But again, you got to have resources when you putting these events together. So, but that's definitely something that we proud of.
Man, that's awesome, man. I work in education myself, man, and I see it a lot of times where the kids are in need, especially backpacks and school supplies and things of that nature. Now, a lot of time I see them come in, they have on brand new shoes, they have brand new shirts, and they don't have the backpacks, the school supply. Some of them don't even have a haircut. So, man,
Yep.
that's excellent that you guys were able to, kind of feel that need, man. That is excellent. Another thing I want to ask you about is the respondents from the community, man. How have the community responded to your events and your sponsorships? Have there been good participation, or have you had heard any feedback from the community?
Man, oh my God, the community is a big part of it, man. The responses, especially in Abbeville, Abbeville community, man, it's been great. They responded in a major way. I mean, every time we have an event, um, they support us from the buildings to the volunteers, people making donations. Like the support has been amazing from the city of Abbeville, and even here in Anniston, where I live now. I mean, we receive support from here as well, and we're grateful for that as well because we've done a couple of things here in Anniston. But yeah, man, the support all around, it's just been amazing. It's been amazing.
Man, that's great, man. When you see that you're getting that kind of support, that means you're really helping people, really reaching out to folks, man. That's
Yeah.
great. What kind of impact have you seen on kids and families when you start some of these sponsorships or some of these programs? What kind of impact have you seen?
Man, it's man, just say the backpack drive, for instance, to see the kids' faces light up, man, when they get those backpacks with supplies and they know like, hey, this one less thing I gotta worry about. I got this right here. And to get that free haircut, like I know at least on the first day of school, like I'm gonna be fresh. I got this fresh
Yeah,
haircut. So
yeah,
man, it's just and they're appreciative of that. So and to see their faces light up, it just give you a feeling like it's really hard to explain it,
yeah.
but every year, man, every year, I look forward to that. I look forward to that feeling, like, because I feel it every year, and just to see it do something to me.
Oh man, that is amazing, man. That is amazing. And basically that's what you do it for. You know, you do it to
Exactly.
see, you know,
Exactly.
that is amazing. So I want to ask you some more things about some of the challenges some of the youth are facing that people don't always see. Some things you might have noticed in the kids. Are there some challenges and things that we may not be able to see in the first beginning?
So a lot of people might not know this about me, but I'm also a substitute teacher. I substitute a lot of, like, in my spare days. I sub, and I a lot of kids. I I hear a lot of people say, "Oh man, that kid right there, he bad," or he a handful, or whatever the case may be. But one of the things that I think a lot of people don't realize is, these kids are a product of their environment, where they come from. So when that kid come into the classroom and they acting out or whatever the case may be, it's not necessarily that they're bad. It's they just need guidance, and they may not have that at home. So my challenge, to the educators and other people that have to deal with the kids is to just remember, this kid may not be receiving the tools that he or she needs to act accordingly in the classroom. So it's really not all on them. So
Yeah.
just remember, and leadership and guidance. A lot of schools, and I mean, this, most
Mhm.
school teachers are females,
Yeah.
and a lot of these kids, like, they need positive male guidance, male role models,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they're lacking that. So um if you don't have all the tools that you need to be a certain way, then you got to figure it out on your own. So
Mhm.
just I was like, just keep that in mind, like, man, it's not this kid, it's not all his fault that he or she is acting this way.
Most definitely, most definitely. And even if you're not the best in this field, or you may not be a professional in that field or whatnot, or the top of the level in this field, just being that role model sometimes can make a difference. Just being
Yeah.
there,
Yep.
that gives some kids rest assurance, no matter what your priority is, whether you cleaning the floors or whatnot. That
Yep.
does give those kids,
It does.
just being a presence.
Exactly. Sometimes they just want to talk to you, and you to talk back to them.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
That is 100% true. I do want to ask you about mental health in young people, man. That's a big topic. Does your foundation try to address, the mental health phase of the young people?
Um, we haven't, like, had any events per se for that,
Mhm.
but we
Yeah.
have dealt with it, accordingly. Like, if we see something arise, my wife and I, my wife is in education as well.
Okay.
So we try to make sure that we're we're pushing counseling toward pushing them towards counseling, because a lot of times counseling is a necessity to getting
Mhm.
a kid to, under control and behave like they should. So but that is on our radar, to have events that, that addresses mental health.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, what kind of advice would you give to young people and those kids who are trying to stay focused? What kind of advice would you give to a young person that want to stay focused and there may be a lot of things going on? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would tell them, um not to give up, to stay focused, and, take baby steps, short-term goals. Don't try to hit the ball out of the park. Take baby steps, one bite at a time, and to continue to move forward. Martin Luther King had a quote, where he said, if you can't fly, then run.
Mm.
Can't run, then walk. If you can't
Mhm.
walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Like that, don't give up. Because a lot of times if we stop, it's hard to start it back.
It is. It is. It
Yeah.
really is. Really is, man. What I want to ask you again, about, I know you guys have a nonprofit, and a lot of people always ask the question, hey, I wouldn't mind uh starting a nonprofit in this field, starting a nonprofit in that field. What kind of obstacles did you face trying to get this nonprofit started?
Oh my gosh, man. It a lot. A
Yep.
lot, man. I didn't know the first thing about it. So
Yeah.
I ran into so many hiccups, man, uh from putting it all together. Like my paperwork was messed up. I filed it the wrong way. Get my 501c3 filed, which is making sure it's tax deductible. Putting my bylaws together. Um, Man, I had a lot of hiccups along the way, but I did get some help. I got some help from my pastor, Reverend Delvin McKay. He helped me a lot, like with my bylaws and stuff like that. And I had some
Mhm.
help from some other people. So, and my wife, she assisted me a lot. So I didn't do it by myself, but those were some of the obstacles that I faced. Yeah.
Okay, so it basically was a process that you had to go through, and you had to get certain paperwork filed. And I guess you probably had to go through the IRS and to make sure
Yep.
all that paperwork was in line, things of
Yep.
that nature. Correct.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep. And it I didn't know it was gonna cost what it cost either. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
money part, I didn't do my homework. I basically just jumped right into it.
Yeah.
But when I was in it, I was in it.
Okay. Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. All right. So I do want to ask you guys about some of these programs, man. I know that these programs they cost money.
Right.
Like I said, your backpack giveaway and all that good stuff, man. How do you guys come about funding and sustaining funding for that program every year? I know you say you've been doing it every year. How do y'all
Yep.
do that, man? I just always wondered.
Yep. So to be honest, man, we put a lot of our own money into it, and and donations from people that support our cause. Um, we've tried to get grants before, um, but we've been unsuccessful, and we kind of slacked up on that. And that's something we need to, get back, try to see if we can get that back going. But it's so expensive, to get a grant, somebody to write a grant for you. They want this much money, and like that's half of the money we're gonna get.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's basically just been funded from donations, man, from our pockets and donations.
Oh man, that is amazing, man.
Yep.
That's amazing. You were able to do that, man, and able to sustain it for that long a time period.
Yep.
You know, that is a great thing, man. So have you learned any lessons on leadership while doing this? Um, starting working on this Dream Foundation and things of that nature. Have you learned any lessons about that?
Um, yeah, yeah. I've learned to delegate more, not to try to do everything yourself. And I'm
Yeah.
still working on that. My wife,
Yeah.
she tells me a lot, that, like uh like the planning part of it, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do all of it by yourself. I can
Mm.
take some of this off of your plate. So I would say that's the biggest lesson I've learned, to do more delegating.
Yeah, that is amazing, man. Because you don't want to overwork yourself. You got to be able to let other people do some things.
That's right.
Uh, you got to be able to trust other people with stuff. So,
That's right.
uh,
Yep.
that
Yep.
that delegating is a very good thing to be able to do.
It is.
Another thing I want to ask you is, um, I know you have your personal life, man. How do you balance your personal life and your community work? I know you said delegating helps a little bit. I know you don't want to get overrun. How do you balance all that, man?
So I try to space my events out, throughout the year. Because like you said, you gotta have time for family, you gotta have time for work, you gotta have time for leisure. So I try to like, put time in between each event. That gives me time to prep for the next event, give me time to spend with my family, so basically just that's how I do it, just space them out.
Oh man, that's awesome, man.
Yep.
That is a great way to do things, man. Balance it out when you have time for everything. So what keeps you spiritually and mentally grounded? When you're doing some of these events, what keeps you grounded?
Um, man, I would just say, spending time with God on a daily, you know, and I might miss a day, here or there, but
Mhm, mhm.
um, I got a reminder in my phone where I remind myself every day to make sure that I spend time with God. It's I call it like strategic gratitude. I was
Mhm.
listening to the Jacqueline Carr show one day, and she talked about strategic gratitude, basically, um, you know, being grateful, being intentional about
Mhm.
thanking God for the things that He's blessed you with, even if it's not just the big stuff, the small stuff.
Yeah.
So I would just say, I would say that's how I stay spiritually grounded.
Oh man, that is amazing, man. That gratitude goes a long way.
Yes,
So I want to ask you this question, man. In the next 5 years, where do you see the Dream Foundation at?
man. In the next 5 years, man, hopefully we'll be able to start giving scholarships, provide scholarships to graduating seniors. We got to get back on the ball with this grant thing. Hopefully get some grants and be able to provide scholarships. To seniors that are going to colleges to kind of take a little bit of the burden off of their plate to be able to assist them with their education.
Man, that's amazing, man. That is amazing. And I'm gonna tell you with scholarships, no matter how small you start, whether it's $100 or $200 scholarships for somebody,
Yep.
man, that will make a huge difference for someone, trying to go to
Yep.
college. Yeah.
That's right.
I definitely hope you're able to get that started, man. That would be a great help to the
Oh
community.
yeah.
Do you have any upcoming projects or events that people should know about coming up here pretty soon?
Um, not soon. Not at this time. Our next project will be the backpack giveaway, and that's normally in um July, August,
July?
like
Okay.
the first week in August. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome, man. Awesome. So how can businesses or community members partner with you, man? Is there a way, say for instance, a business or a community member want to donate or they want to help out with some of your events? What can they do? How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can reach out. They can reach out to me. Um, man, uh, through Facebook. Byron Walk on Facebook. On the Walk a Dream Foundation on Facebook. Um, if they would make donations, we got a PayPal, and that's at Dream Foundation. They can cash out Walk a Dream Foundation. Um, or they can contact. I mean, there's a lot of people they may know that can contact me if they can't contact me in that way also.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So what kind of legacy do you want to leave when you start talking about this Dream Foundation? I know you mentioned you have a daughter, your family. What kind of legacy would you like to leave with this Dream Foundation?
I basically I want to leave a legacy of love, togetherness, and just giving back to the community. So when I leave here, I want people to look at the things that I was able to do to help somebody else that was in need of help.
Awesome, awesome, man. That is a great thing to do, man. Great thing to have for your legacy, man. So I kind of want to do this. I do a little quick thing, kind of at the end. What is one word that describes your mission?
One word that describes my mission, um, I would say rewarding. Um, I feel like it's very rewarding. Um, to be able to, do the things that we're able to do. Because like I mentioned earlier, it's always like a feeling of gratitude. Like, man, that felt good to be able to do that right there. So yeah, I would say
Awesome.
rewarding.
Awesome. Awesome word. What is one of the biggest lessons life has taught you working with the Dream Foundation?
Uh Man, one of the biggest lessons, I would say, exercise and prayer and patience. Um, like no matter what's going on, always take a second to to step back and look at the situation before you act on it. So being patient and praying and like before you make a decision, get some guidance from God before you just jump out there and do it.
Awesome. Awesome. So what kind of advice would you give to young men, maybe to get a chance to watch this show? And what kind of advice would you give them, man?
Uh, if I could give advice to some young men, I've seen this happen. I've seen a lot of young guys get caught up in situations because they react swiftly. So I would say the advice I would give them is to always think before you react. Like don't make a 5 second decision that you're gonna have to pay for years of your life. So I would say just just control your emotions, take a step back, think about it before you react.
Awesome. Awesome, man. So if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Ooh, man, let's see. I would say always believe in myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll always believe in myself. Yeah, you don't need other people to validate you or to believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself.
Awesome. Awesome, man. So just final message, man. Speaking to the community, man. What would a final message be that you would like to leave and speak to the community? Uh,
Um, Man, I would just like to thank the community for all the support that they've shown the Walker Dream Foundation, over the years. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to us. And I will also, um, and not just Abbeville, also Anniston, where we reside right now. Yeah, so I just want to thank both of my communities, my Anniston community and my Abbeville community, because Abbeville is always gonna be home.
Amazing, man. Amazing. I really appreciate you coming on my show, man. I want everybody to, following me, man. Let's try to reach out to the Dream Foundation and support him no matter what. So anytime, my man, you're having something, please feel free to reach out to me, man. I'll shed light, donate, whatever to your Dream Foundation, man. I really appreciate it. It's a great thing you're doing, and I appreciate you meeting with me today, man.
Yeah, man, and I also wanna thank you for having me, brother. Thank you for having me on your platform, and I want to encourage you, man, to keep doing what you're doing. It's a beautiful thing, something positive, man, and this is much needed in our community. So hats off to you, brother. You're doing a great job.
Man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm signing out with my guy Byron Walker and the Dream Foundation. All right, thank you
All
guys.
right, brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.